Sup? My name is Austin, and here at Replay Mode, we make videos about Call of Duty most of the time, sharing fun facts about the franchise that no one seems to like anymore. But sometimes there's just no elegant way to fit in all of the useless, and I mean properly useless knowledge about Call of Duty that I've accumulated over the last 2 decades of being a fucking nerd. And so I wanted to make a video just to get all of that out there, you know, so that it wasn't wasted. So in no particular order, here is every pointless thing I have ever learned about Call of Duty. In MW 2019, your watch is accurate even in the menus. Terminal has flights to Moscow listed even though the airport is located in Moscow. In the MW2 remastered campaign, you can inspect your empty hands and you'll play with yourself. I'm sorry, no, not like that, you fucking weirdo. But also in that campaign, if you have cheats enabled that affects enemies, like to make them invisible or have pineapples for heads, then the second that Shepard shoots Ghost and turns into a villain, that same effect will hit him too. Jason Hudson has had a different voice actor in every single game that he's appeared in, including Michael Keaton? In Black Ops 2, the tactical insertions would display coordinates that actually lined up perfectly to where on the globe each specific map is supposed to take place, which is just a really cool added detail that really makes it feel like the devs cared and put so much polish into all of their maps. Anyway, unrelated, but the Cold War map, Miami, is off the north coast of Florida. MW2's Favela was actually pulled from the game for a few weeks back in 2012 after a YouTube video pointed out a piece of Islamic artwork in the bathroom, which goes against their religion. And actually, double Favela fun fact, the map also has a mirror that if you knife, it can kill you. In Advanced Warfare's campaign, you can find a hidden and/or accidentally left RPG by glitching out of bounds, and it's fully functional. It's, I think, literally just left over from the previous game. The M1911 has appeared in some way, shape, form, loot box, cover art, or otherwise unplayable state stuck to someone's outfit in every single mainline Call of Duty game besides Infinite Warfare. As it turns out, all those dislikes were justified. In Black Ops 4, unlike other map variants, Hacienda and Hacienda Twilight actually have slightly different layouts, with the latter opening up a hallway and window in the upstairs section, giving you a good cross into what was otherwise just a huge blind spot. A change that, by the way, they actually kept for the remake in BO6 just a few years later. Carrier actually isn't the USS Obama featured in the campaign. In fact, it's not even part of the US's fleet. It's just a random Chinese ship. As it turns out, we were the baddies all along. Jimmy Kimmel was in Black Ops 2. There's not really much more to that fact. I just wanted it back on the record somewhere. I'm pretty sure this is the first celebrity collab, isn't it? Back in Black Ops 1, dolphin diving on top of your friends will down both of you, which at the time, we all thought was like good luck or something, and would give you more power-ups in the rest of the game. But in reality, it was more of a gullibility test than anything. In the MW 2019 story, you'll get kicked to the main menu if you kill the baby too much. I could've been a doctor, you know? I could've, like, I don't know, became like a lawyer or like it's something important. Instead, I spent my high school and college years learning about how you run faster with the camera spike than any other weapon in BO1. Like, how fucking useless is that information now? In COD World War II, shooting a throwing knife at the care package's parachute will get it to fall faster, because that's how physics works. Math. There's a Lost reference in MW3's Village. And speaking of MW3, on the day of the mission Black Tuesday, I'm happy to report that in real life, New York was not overtaken by a massive, large-scale Russian invasion. But there were 3 kiting deaths where the victims' throats were slit. Jesus fucking Christ. The Advanced Warfare map Sideshow was based on a real clown motel in Nevada that's still open to this day, and you can get a room at for only $200 a night. The default Milsim character in MW 2019 has different faces and headgear that you get assigned to you at random. This couch has appeared in almost every Call of Duty game since 2019. If you put extended mags on MW2's P90, it'll increase your sprint duration. While using the Michael Myers kill streak in COD Ghosts, in first person, you hold the axe with 2 hands, but in third person, you're holding it with only 1. In MW22, each pistol had a unique weapon inspect animation, depending on whether or not you had ammo. And I'm just gonna keep talking here for a minute so that I can show off some more of them. They are genuinely, like, sick as shit, dude. They're incredible. In COD4, if you put a silencer on the G3, it'll actually delay your melee damage, meaning that you'll swing your knife, but the impact doesn't actually register for another second or so. A glitch that they actually brought back in the remaster as part of their broader mission to keep everything exactly 1-to-1 with the original. Until they realized they could make money instead. And similar thing, actually, if you had a class with the MP5 and M9, both guns actually pull ammo from the same reserve. It'll actually give you an extra mag for your MP5. And actually, sticking with that COD4 remaster, just while we're here, the original game, of course, had the now iconic training course in its first mission that I don't know how people get, like, sub 5 seconds on or whatever. I'm just not built that way, man.
That was an improvement, but it's not hard to improve on garbage.
But you may not know that the remaster actually added an additional 2 training courses right across the street, including an obstacle course and an explosive section. Unfortunately, there was no training section for how to not get fucking executed, though. That one might have been helpful for the next mission. You could never actually earn the iconic spinning 10th prestige emblem in MW2. Instead, you needed to use an unlock tool or get really, really lucky and wander into one of the million hacked lobbies plaguing the game. On Aftermath, there's 2 movie posters outside the bookstore based on the other multiplayer maps, Hijacked and Turbine. Oh, look at that! They even knew which one to put near the trash. Isn't that the kind of attention to detail that Treyarch's known for? Oh, this is a fun one. Did you know that Menendez never actually canonically wore an eye patch? In fact, he quite famously had a false eye that he kept snacks in. Hey, and speaking of eye patches, for a little while around the launch of Black Ops 6, if you were wearing certain skins on Weaver, another character with only one eye, whenever you ADS'd, your reticle would actually be misaligned, which I always thought was a cool little detail. But no, it turns out it was a bug. In No Russian, if you take too long, Makarov will actually turn on you, which, if you ask me, is pretty hypocritical, considering he literally tells you no rushing. Guys, you're so kind. Thank you so much. Oh, man. Also, there's a baby crying in the bathroom because you murdered their entire family. Yeah, it was pretty insensitive to just be laughing before, huh? You fucking monster. I could have been a fireman. I could have joined the fucking Peace Corps. I could have done anything to have, like, a real, tangible impact. Contribute to society, you know? Anyway, you can pet the dog in BO7. That's cool. You know what? I'm gonna go off for a bit here and focus on modern COD maps for a bit. Because honestly, a lot of them don't quite get the coverage that they deserve, usually in these types of fun facts videos, you know? For instance, the BO7 map, Incline, actually has a counter on it that ticks up every time that someone falls off the edge of the map. On Stakeout, you could quickly cross from the hallway to the center by taking the stairs out of bounds and jumping across. On Homestead, you can freeze if you camp the water too much. Black Ops 6's Burger Town, Booger Town, misspells. You get it. You can find Shepard's skull in the sand on the newest Rust remake, meaning that no one even bothered to go get his body, I guess. On MW3's drive-thru, if you jump on all the seats on the merry-go-round in the right order, a giant rubber ducky will appear on the roof. The original Skid Row back in MW2 took place in LA, based off of the actual neighborhood. However, when it was then remade a whole 14 years later, they instead moved it to New York. If you shoot the nuke enough in BO6's warhead, it'll actually go off. Farm 18, in addition to being the best launch map of MW22, has its location shrouded in mystery, with the opening just saying classified. Although, because of this map's massive out-of-bounds area, many, and by many I mean me and whoever's still updating the COD wiki these days, believe that it actually takes place in Castovia, one of many fictional countries that the developers use when they don't want to piss off real nations. Unless you're Iran, I guess. You know, I'm realizing I wrote that before the whole thing. Fuck, dude, I'm canceled. I became a political YouTuber. I didn't even know. Fuck, man. Also, this building from Farm 18 may seem familiar if you're an old, stinky old guy, as it's actually lifted straight from the map Pavlov in the original Call of Duty, released back in November of 1863. Safeguard made its debut in Black Ops 3 as the franchise's first escort mode. Or did it? Because as it turns out, Call of Duty Ghosts actually was the first one to use the Safeguard trademark in their co-op PvE mode over in Squads, which was their secret fourth mode that I don't think was supposed to be a secret, but they just forgot to tell anyone about it. Basically, it was like a survival mode using your characters that you created over in multiplayer. It wasn't really that important or fun or anything, but I always forget that it was called Safeguard. They just reused the same name like 3 years later and just pretended this one didn't happen. Also, MW19 and 22 both had survival modes. Who knew? In Black Ops 3 on PlayStation, when your specialist weapon or ability is fully charged, your controller's light bar will change color. The double rainbow on Nuketown is a reference to this 2010 viral video. Man, y'all remember back when we had viral videos that like everyone got into for a bit and wouldn't just get lost on your feed in a sea of rage bait and people dying? Y'all remember Hide Ya Kids, Hide Ya Wife guy? You know, that was fun. Now it's all fucking Epstein emails. Oh, and way more niche, but on the BO1 DLC map, Hangar 18, there's this floating apple off in the corner of the map that has always seemed a little odd to me, you know? Like the rest of the map has aliens and top secret government tech, but this is just an apple. Like why is there an apple here? Well, as it turns out, this is a reference to an old viral video of a guy freaking out that on Villa, you can shoot away the rest of the props on this table, leaving just a single apple floating above the table. In the opening missions of Black Ops Cold War, you're tasked with driving an RCXD down a runway to stop a plane from taking off, which means that it not only needs to keep up with the fucking airplane, but it actually needs to outpace it to catch up and then detonate, which would require it to be driving somewhere in the range of at least 150 miles per hour. And that's fucking nuts, right? But it actually turns out that the current record for the fastest RC car is well over 230 miles per hour. So all is to say that this fact is that this is realistic, I guess. None of this fucking matters, right? We're all gonna die one day. You think God is sitting up there at the pearly gates saying, you're not allowed in unless you can tell me which Call of Duty game had a Little Caesars in it And I can say Black Ops 6 and bam, eternal salvation. You think that's gonna fucking happen? No. The multiplayer maps Bog and Crossfire are right next to each other. And that's because the two missions that they're based on, the Bog and the War Pig, are also right next to each other. If you throw a knife into this hot dog mascot's meat hole, he'll talk to you.
Don't forget to try my world-famous sauce.
And similarly, if you push Bubby's button, he'll blast.
Are you sure you want that?
Unfortunately, there is no such Easter egg with the Saddam Hussein statue, though. Trust me, I checked. Cold War had a whole section of the menu where you could play arcade games. Now, this one isn't super hidden or anything, but it is something that usually when I tell people, I get one of two reactions. It's either, whoa, that's kind of cool, I guess, or fuck you. Who are you? Get the fuck out of my lawn. According to the tallies, the plane crash survivors on Cove were there for at least 725 days, or almost 2 entire years. In Vanguard's campaign, which everyone totally played, you get to meet a guy named Howard, who is actually the brother of Major Howard over in the COD World War II headquarters. COD World War II's V2 map had a button that you weren't allowed to push. Hey, bad dog, don't you do it again. If you get close to the dog tags in Kill Confirmed, most games have little Easter eggs on them. Like in MW3, the tags belong to Ghost, in BO2, they're Reznov's, and even as recent as Vanguard, Sledgehammer printed Red Daniels on them, which of course was the main character of COD World War II. They made Stealth Clown a slur picked up by the profanity filter in all games post-Jetpack era. On the Infinite Warfare version of Terminal, there's a sushi place that has a carp roll containing fish AI, which of course is a reference to the infamous claim that IW's previous game, Ghosts, was revolutionizing the gaming landscape with all new fish AI that would move when you get close to them. Ooh. It also cost $2,000. As part of the game's marketing, Infinity Ward put out a fake review for COD 4 by none other than Vladimir Putin himself. That's fucking real. His gamer tag is shootin' Putin 187. And no, he did not accept my friend request. Thanks for rubbing it in. And lastly, people who subscribe to replay mode statistically have the best KDs and just generally have a lot more going on for them in life than even me, who's 30 and knows way too much about a single gaming franchise that's clearly on its way out, but like the publisher, I just can't bear to watch it die and will continue to milk it for all that it's worth because without it, I truly don't know who I am as a person. Also, Captain Price was in COD 2.